Good morning, I'm Shaniqua with a very special news round for you. This week marks a whole year since the UK first went into lockdown because of coronavirus. And what a year it's been. We've seen changes to our lives that none of us have ever experienced before. And we wanted to find out what have been the most important things in your life over the past 12 months. So we used a survey to find out how children across the UK are feeling about life in 2021. You can read lots more about the survey in a special interactive guide on the Newsround website, and you can see the results and what other children think. It's definitely been a year we'll always remember and talk about. So here are your stories.
I thought it would be over by now.
When I hear the word lockdown, I think of the word prison.
Boring.
Confusion.
You never know what virus is going to say.
I am bored of the lockdowns now. It's getting old.
The last year did not go how any of us expected it to.
Stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives.
Coronavirus changed a lot of things, and Newsround wanted to know how you found the last year. So we asked 2,000 kids from all over the UK. Now there were some good things.
The first lockdown is like a really chilling. I liked it. I played games a lot.
It gives me some time to spend with my family.
It's kind of helped me because I don't think I would be doing YouTube, or I don't think I'd be doing other things.
I don't have to wake up as early.
But for many, it has been a tough year. Almost half of kids we asked told us that they felt worse than usual during lockdown.
I can't see my friends.
Everything is closed and the only place I can go is school.
When someone wasn't in class, you just worry a bit.
I just see the same people all day, every day.
It's kind of like a virtual world where we're just on our phones, on our screens all day.
Before, I've never actually had to stay in my house for as long as I had to. So I was just a bit confused, stressed and a bit annoyed, to be honest.
And one of the biggest issues for lots of kids was school. And for most, not being able to go.
Yeah, it stressed out my mum a lot because she's had to run over to me while she's cooking and say, what do you need help on? When I was off school, I just really wanted to go to school.
The hardest thing for me in lockdown was staying close to my class.
It's disrupting my learning a lot because at home I don't want to do my work.
School is one of the places where I actually feel quite safe.
11-year-old Suja moved to the UK from Belgium during lockdown and had to get used to remote schooling by himself.
Because I was new, I didn't know the language and I just knew some words. We are 4 siblings and my mom just stayed with my little sister and little brother, and I just need to do my work alone.
Austin, Neve and Ewan on the Scilly Isles usually stay in a boarding house attached to their school during the week, but with lockdown it closed, so they had to travel back and forth to school from their homes on the other islands every day.
On Mondays and Fridays, that's the only time we usually boat.
It was a lot more tiring having to wake up early to catch a boat every day.
I wanted to come back into school because I was finding it really hard.
Half of you agreed that remote schooling was worse than going to school in person.
I was missing my friends and I was missing some of the lessons because they're fun.
And some of you struggled with poor internet or having devices to work from.
My internet upstairs is not that strong. I might have cut out too much.
I would have thought that the teachers would think that I'm not doing any work, when actually I really am.
I don't know how to use the computers too much, so it was a little bit harder, but if I come in school, it's better.
There was a time in April when I didn't have any technology except for my phone, so it was nearly impossible to do schoolwork. It would stress me out a lot. It would kind of make me think that I was abandoning the work when I was actually really trying.
SATs and lots of other exams were cancelled.
The first time they were all cancelled, I think everyone was really kind of happy for a while. We were like, yay, no exams. And then I think this year, especially, everyone was a bit more upset about not having to sit exams because that was 2 years in a row
It felt like all my efforts throughout the year were just kind of wasted.
You know, you've got to put a lot more harder work into your schoolwork and into your mocks because they're going to count much more than they normally would.
10-year-old Jessie from Belfast in Northern Ireland was due to sit an AQE test to decide what secondary school she'd go to.
Every single time the news came on, it was like it's cancelled or it's not cancelled. And it finally said it was cancelled, and it was pretty relieving because it wouldn't be so much stress. But I was kind of sad because I wanted to see how I'd do on the test.
Away from school, our survey told us that seeing family and friends is very important to you. And during the last year, lots of you saw much less of your grandparents than normal.
My nana lives in England and I live in Wales, so I can't really see her.
In summer, we used to always go to our grandparents' place, which is somewhere in Malaysia.
My grandma, she lives alone and she wants us to visit. And my mum keeps trying to tell her that we can't, it's against the rules.
Rahik is 9 and he only lives 5 minutes away from his gran in Burnley. He usually sees her a lot, but last year she couldn't join him for Eid.
I'm not used to her not coming. It was kind of a sad time. She really means a lot to me. Yeah, I think she felt sad because I'm not there. None of us are there. Now we're actually seeing her. Now we come to the house like 1 or 2 days a week. So yeah, it's nice.
Exercise is something lots of you told us you've been missing out on.
Football in particular has been really stressful because I just want to get out there and play the game.
I was in the home all day, but now I can play in the school.
Getting enough exercise was particularly tricky for 9-year-old Talitha, who lives in a flat.
Before lockdown, I'd normally knock on to my friends' doors and ask if they want to go to the park. During lockdown, I wasn't really able to do that. I've managed to get really lazy. I don't really have a garden, I don't have a balcony either, so it's harder for me to do outdoor activities.
Someone who was hugely affected by the closure of sports facilities was aspiring ice skater 13-year-old Renee.
At first, not having to skate, not having to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, like, yay, that's good. I don't have to train as much. But then I sort of realized with time that, after all, I do love skating, so not having it for so long, that was sort of something I didn't realize that would happen. For a career, for a future, for a chance to win the Olympics, it sort of made me reconsider how probable that is.
It's clear that a lot of lockdown has been difficult in different ways, but there have been some upsides.
I'm grateful that I've had the time to talk to my family a bit more, spend time with them a bit more. My sister has taught me how to make face masks. We've been baking stuff together as well.
I appreciate my mum a lot more because she does a lot for me. Sometimes I don't realise it.
Lockdown's made me think about my mum, how she's a key worker, and whenever she comes home, it feels nice to be nicer back to her.
And lots of you told us you're looking forward to the future.
We now have a vaccine for COVID, so I'm hoping we'll be able to go outside again, do active things.
Being in this pandemic right now, I think it's actually brought everybody a lot closer to each other. It's made them realise how much they would actually miss each other if they weren't there, how much we actually need each other and to work together to help out, because it's not something we can just fight on ourselves.